Here we go. Tap, tap. See, tap, 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 tap. We got a cool review for you here. This is going to be on Radian's charging handle. So a lot of people don't know this. Might as well grab one of these. Let's do a quick safety check. We are clear. I'm going to lock that bolt to the rear. So this is the Radian Model 1. This is the pistol version, but all of the lower controls are going to work the same from rifle to pistol. One of the things that Radian does is quality. I don't care what gun is your favorite gun. I've got them from pretty much all the big boy makers. This gun is nice. It's well built. And something folks don't know about Radian is that their charging handle is OEM for about 50 different companies. OEM meaning if you go buy a Daniel Defense, this is the charging handle that Daniel Defense decides to put in theirs. So there's a lot of companies that have tried to not only borrow, I'm using the word loosely, Radian's patent on this charging handle. That said, Radian sells this to many different companies with those companies' specific logo. So good to know, because you may say, oh, well, such and such company has one just like it. It's probably Radian's with that company's name stamped on it, because they sell them directly to many major manufacturers. So what we did is we decided to have Radian ship us one of every charging handle they make. If you guys go to some websites that have lots of different products, sometimes it can be daunting if you don't know what's what. We're going to be able to go right through all of them. How about that? Isn't that cool? And give you kind of the play-by-play. So 2 of these handles right out of the gate are specific to 2 exact weapons, and that's these right here. This is for the SIG MCX and the SIG MPX. So if you do not have a SIG MCX or MPX, you're not going to buy one of these. But this gives you that excellent ambi charging handle for those SIG guns. And what's so great about these, one, people say, well, why do I need that? The old standard charging handle, it was good enough for the GIs, it's good enough for me. Well, guys, sometimes good enough is not good enough, and sometimes there is things like cost associated with them, weight associated with them. So depending on what you're doing with the gun, this gives you a lot of purchase. You can grab it from either side. So if you are a righty and you decide that you, for whatever reason, just can hook one side of that handle, let me run the bolt forward on this. I can just hook one of those levers and actuate the bolt. Same thing for a lefty. Now, I don't like torquing the charging handle if I don't have to, so I try to get onto both sides of it so that I'm not imparting torque, like I said. If you need to do some type of a press check action, so the bolt is now closed, I can very easily cycle that to see into the bolt of the weapon. A little pump on that forward assist and do whatever I need to do from there. So the SIG variants are going to give you that with those SIG models. So now we go on to some of the other ones. So one more of these is for a very specific gun. This is for the Smith & Wesson 1522. I actually have a variant of that on the wall behind Drew, which we'll be putting this on. But this kit gives you the charging handle as well as an ambidextrous, big word, ambi safety selector. So I'm gonna grab that rifle down right now. Drew, give me a second. All right, so this is actually a perfect example. We can demonstrate why you would want to get one of these Radian handles. So this is the Smith & Wesson 1522. So this is a 22 caliber long rifle, 22 long rifle, AR variant. I bought this one, it's a really cheap way to train with the AR, but we've got children that we teach, family members, things of that nature, and besides the cost factor, you get like very little recoil, as you know. So check it out right here. You've got very little to grab onto as you are trying to actuate that lever. Now with this gun, you don't have big problems because of how small the bolt is and how little spring pressure, but you have the same issue on full-size ARs. So this variant gives you the same size levers as the Model 1 and an ambi lever, so ambi safety selector. So right now, this one is just on the standard left side of the gun. So if you want to try to actuate that or are a lefty, right now you've got to swing to this side. So you get that ambi selector, which is super, super cool. So those three are specific to those weapons. Now there are other 22 long rifle ARs. I don't know if that'll work with those. I do know that it is made specifically for the Smith & Wesson. So let's talk about what remains here. All right, so if you're not buying one for one of those specific builds, the SIGs or the Smith & Wesson 1522, you're gonna be looking at one of these 4 main charging handles. Now, if you purchase one of the M1s, it's gonna come with this guy right here in it. I'll start off with this one though. So this is the AR-15 M16, and this is their oversized levers. The aluminum shaft is solid, and the right side is a little bit elongated to get you out past the forward assist, and that's the main thing that separates that from some of the others. This guy here, and again, that's the one that comes on the M1 model. This is the Raptor SD, and this has a few specific things to note in it. So it's got the elongated right side to get you past the forward assist, but it's also got these ports in here, and this is going to do 2 things. One, it looks cool. Just kidding. What it's really made for is when you have a suppressor on your rifle, it's going to allow that gun to cycle more efficiently, more effectively, and not dump that gas in your face. So it's going to help dump some of that out of there, and it's not going to change the way that it operates without a suppressor. The LT version is for those of you that may be on a budget. This is a lower cost option because it's got some composite materials. It's also really light. So for some of you dudes that are trying to build like that super light, crazy, weighs less than a pound AR, I'm exaggerating a little bit, this might be the option for you. Of course, if you're really trying to build the lightest carbine ever, you're probably not going to go with the double handle, but if you got to have one, this is the light version of it. And then you've got the Raptor SD SL, and this has slimline handles. So if you notice, the handles here are a little bit narrower than the standard. That might be somebody that actually is operating, police officer that maybe has to carry an AR-15 in their duties a lot, or definitely a soldier, airman, or sailor that is going to deploy with an AR. This has got a little bit less of a snag factor. So if you've got a gun slung up on you, you've got this handle that is standing proud of the frame of the gun in a few areas, and it's just another snag point. So if that's something that is a issue for you, then you're going to want to go with the SDSL. SDSL still has the gas vents, so you're going to get all of the same benefits of what's in my Model 1, which is this guy right here, and really the main difference is the shorter, slim handles. When you look at any of these products, I'm just going to open one of these up. This is very well built. And there's a reason that people have tried to copy what these guys have done. These charging handles, not these, but a charging handle in itself can be a weak point on a build. So guys are going to upgrade, they're going to do a build, and they look online and they see the cost of one of these, 75, 80, 100 bucks, and they're like, oh, I can buy the one for half the cost. I've told you guys this before. The butcher shop in the town I grew up in has a sign over the counter, and it says, good meats, not cheap. Cheap meats, not good. And I think that goes for a lot of stuff. I don't think it's a crazy amount of money to spend when they're building these in America with pride, with American workforces, and they're doing a great job of it. I've yet to break one. I run the guns pretty hard. I'm not operating with these guns, guys, so when dudes say, well, have you ever taken one to war? No, I haven't. But these guns get banged around quite a bit. We take them on and off airplanes. We take them on and off ranges. They get dumped, they get dropped, they get beat up, and these things have held up. You've now, for the first time, seen all of these here together. I'm just gonna show you guys from a righty standpoint how this is gonna work. You got a lot to grab onto. If I wanna grab it side to side, double finger hook. If I had to, guys, if I had to work this bolt without freehand for whatever reason, which is a legitimate concern, I've got enough there that I can hook, so you can see if need be, you could cycle that single-handed. Great products. The rifles themselves are amazing. This gun has thousands of rounds through it. I'm guessing somewhere in the neighborhood of 8,000 or 9,000. Shoots flawless. The triggers on them are amazing. I'm kind of turning this into an overall video on Radian, but just to touch on a few key points of this rifle. It's an ambidextrous rifle, ambidextrous safety, which this is another product that Radian makes. This safety setup, very nice, very positive control. The magwell, nice flare to it, not crazy, but enough that you can easily get a magazine in and out. They use M-lock on the rail. Of course, you've got a complete Picatinny running the length of it. This is the shorter pistol variant. I do not have a full rifle upper here. Everything about these guns is just beautifully, beautifully made. I want to show you the bolt carrier group in this gun. And this is also where we get to see that charging handle. So they build their own bolts, and this is not perfectly clean, but everything about these things, man, is just machined so nice and meticulous. Something like this is built with pride in the USA, USA parts, and everything about it screams quality. Now look, I know we all don't have unlimited pocketbooks, but if you're in the market for a high-end AR, in my opinion, there is nothing finer than Radian weapons. M1 and their charging handles and ambi selectors. Radian charging handles. Yeah, we've got every one of them out here today. So some of these we're not going to show you because they're gun specific, right? And what's important about the gun specific ones is most of these have this lever on them. It's this large aluminum lever. So the MPX, this is not a SIG MPX, so this one we're going to set aside. If you've got an MPX, you're going to get this size charging handle on there. We've got the Smith & Wesson M&P 1522. So again, same size levers. These happen to be composite, but it's weapon specific. So then from there, MCX, another weapon specific, but it's the same size handles as this. And then we come down to the ones that kind of matter for what we're talking about. So this gun ships their top of the line model right here. This is what the Model 1 that I'm holding ships with. So this is what those handles are gonna look like. I'll throw some ears on and I'll just load up. You can actually see how this works. See the amount of purchase you can get. So I've got this great big handle here. See that? I'll shoot righty. And I'm gonna do a couple of, we'll mimic a malfunction. I'll do a tap rack with this so that you can see how it works. Here we go. So I'm gonna go tap, rack. All right. There's a lot to grab onto there, whether you catch one side or hook. So tap, and I can rack with both fingers there, or I can just catch one side. Shooting lefty, because this is an ambi lever, you guys know I am blind in my right eye. So now that I'm shooting lefty, I can mount the gun, get a hit. If I needed to do some type of manipulation, such as a tap rack, tap, and now on the opposite side of the gun, there is plenty to grab onto to do that. Something as simple as a press check,
So this gun is on safe, it's loaded, but if I needed to do a press check, there's plenty there. If I need to be able to manually feel, there's plenty there for me to hold on to where you're not trying to grab onto that little itty bitty stock charging handle. So let's clear this gun out real quick and we'll swap this handle out because what I want you to see is the smaller one. So this is the SDSL. So you're gonna get that slightly smaller handle. Get this apart. Gun is clear, we double checked. All right, so there's our stock charging handle, and we will bust out the SL. So just so you can see them comparatively. And this might be for somebody that just doesn't feel that they need that much larger handle. Looks like it's about 1/4 to 5/16 of an inch less on either side. If I flip it over, you'll be able to see that perfect. You can see overall, I'm gonna guess it's 1/2 of an inch to 9/16 of an inch less in width. Did you get a good visual there, Drunus? I actually like that. So now we see it mounted up on the gun. Again, slightly smaller. From either side, I can easily grab that, 2 fingers. You know, I actually might leave this one on here. I think I might like that a little bit better than the wider one. We'll load that up and we'll try the same thing. We'll do a couple of tap racks with this. Good. All right, so we'll just see. Tap, rap, tap, rap. Good. Just so you guys know, I'm shooting a 3.5 inch, 3 inch Post-it note down there. So that's why I'm taking my time. Those were all hits so far that we fired. I like this. From either side, I can manipulate it. If you needed to or you had gloves on, I'm gonna throw some gloves on right now just so we can feel it. I think you still got plenty of purchase there. Oh yeah, it ain't a thing for me at all. And then, of course, we'll clear this one out. Good. The last one that we have is their LT. LT stands for light. It is a bargain in that it saves some money. They use a composite for the handles, so it cuts weight, but it also cuts cost. So this is the Raptor LT, and you can tell when you look at it, the only difference is composite on those handles. Everything else is the same. Here is the stock SD. This is what the
Model 1
ships with. And here is the LT. So this is lighter, and the handles, the levers are composite material. So just for the hell of it, since we've got it here, I'll throw this on the gun as well. I actually can feel that it's lighter. Oh. There we go. That magazine doesn't like seating. It might be ready to throw that one in the garbage. All right. So perfect. Tap. Wrap. Looks like I pulled one in that note card. As long as we've got this gun set up, we might as well run one mag. Nice. Plenty to grab onto. I don't think I would be at all worried about the composite if you need to save a few bucks. It's also going to save a few grams. These charging handles, guys, it's not going to make your rifle more accurate, but what it's going to do is make the gun easier for you to manipulate. It's going to make the gun more reliable in the sense that if you need to cycle the bolt quickly, clear a malfunction, and you need to put a little more torque onto the charging handle, these things are going to be as durable as anything out there. I think I'm going to throw the SL on, the shorter. I really like that it's a little bit trimmer. Be well, be safe. Check out radianweapons.com. And just in case we didn't tell you, this is the Model 1 in the pistol variant. Beautiful, beautiful stuff that they make. Top-notch stuff. Radian Weapons. Check them out. And tell somebody that you love them more.
Just, if you miss, you're out. All right. You good? Stand by. Excellent. 412. Stand by.
Let's go, big dog. Same concept. Don't miss.
Pressure! Make it up! Oh, never mind. I forgot what he told you.
That
Sorry.
was, what was your time? What did I say it was? His was 4:43, but he's out. I think you were 4:12. All right, stand by. 4:12, time to beat.
You got to figure out that holdover.